Now, in the second section of our lecture topic, genital tract injuries, we will talk about the management of complete perineal tear. In the first section, we talked already about what is perineum, what are the causes of perineal tear, and what is the etiology, and what are the degrees of perineal tear, and what are the signs and symptoms of the perineal tear. So in this section now we will talk about the management of the complete perineal tear. In this management we will talk about some what are the different preventive measures we can take to prevent the perineal tear, and what are the different operative measures for the perineal tear. We will talk about the principles of surgery and post-operative care, and then we will talk about the advice on the discharge of the patient and what are the complications of the repair of the perineal tear. So the treatment is preventive treatment. Preventive treatment includes proper conduct in the second stage of labor, taking due care of the perineum to prevent undue laceration. In the second stage of labor, it is very important to make the quick and right decision. If the patient needs episiotomy, it is good to perform episiotomy that can avoid the irregular injury or laceration that will cause problem later on for the repair and the healing. So proper conduct of the second stage of labor is important. More attention should be paid to the controlled delivery of the head. Delivery by early extension is to be avoided. Only when the head is out, early extension should be avoided. Spontaneous forcible delivery is to be avoided. Never try to deliver the baby forcibly. That force can cause very bad lacerations and injuries that can be hard to repair afterwards. So second stage of labor should be well managed, well controlled. Head should be delivered properly, and extension should be done only when the head is out. Deliver the head in between contractions. When the contractions or uterine contraction is occurring, deliver the head during those contractions. Perform timely episiotomy. Episiotomy is the surgical incision given in the perineum to increase the area for the delivery. So if the area is less or head is bigger, or there are chances of injury or laceration, it is good to perform episiotomy. Is a clean incision or surgical incision given in the perineum to increase the area for the delivery of the baby. Take care during delivery of the shoulders. Again, it's important to deliver the shoulders very carefully. Next treatment options are operative is anal sphincter complex, which is known as sphincteroplasty. Plasty is the repair. So repair of the anal complex with restoration of the perineal body. Pre-operative investigation, pre-operative preparation important. It's important to do some pre-operative investigations like complete blood count, hemoglobin level, and then there should be some post-operative preparations also. This is the procedure usually performed to do the perineal repair. It's known as Warren flap method. In this, different layers are sutured in different, starting from inside out, inward to outward, and then different flaps are repaired. First the perineal body, perineal muscles, then there is suturing of the fascia, and then the skin, top layer, and then all that lesion is closed. So it is closed in the flaps, and this is the final repair of the lesion, perineal tear. Special post-operative care is after the surgery. Usually some important steps should be followed. One is non-residual diet is from 3-day onward. Until 3rd day, it is important that you should give proper, usually until the intestinal movements are started, usually no soft diet is given. So no residual diet from 3rd day onward. Non-residual diet. Bowel should not be moved for about 4 to 5 days. Lactulose 10 ml twice daily beginning on the 2nd day. Compound enema should be given by rubber catheter. The aim is mainly for the softening of the stool, and so it should not be hard stools or constipation, because that force can cause damage or injury to the sutures, or it can cause wound dehiscence also. So all these steps should be followed properly. So after the enema, next is antibiotics. Antibiotics are important to prevent any infections on the site of the surgery. So antibiotics should be prescribed at least for 7 to 10 days. And then also intestinal antiseptics. This is important to avoid or to treat any infections in the intestines. So all these are the different special post-operative care procedures that should be followed. Non-residual diet is especially very important because it helps to reduce the number of formation of it decreases the fecal formation and decreases the number of the fecal passage during the recovery time. Next, the advice on discharge. Stool is kept soft using a laxative, contraceptives. Review the women after 6 weeks of repair, and antenatal checkup in pregnancy, and liberal mediolateral episiotomy in future vaginal delivery. It's important to avoid any future tears or wound dehiscence. That episiotomy should be performed during normal vaginal delivery. Elective C-sections, sometimes for the future pregnancies, elective C-sections can be performed. Complications of repair operation, we have a complete dehiscence of the wound. Incomplete dehiscence, and incomplete dehiscence can lead to rectovaginal fistula formation. Difficulty in defecation, dyspareunia. All these are the complications of the repair. Wound can be dehiscent, complete dehiscence, incomplete dehiscence, difficulty in defecation, dyspareunia. And then there is incontinence of flatus or feces. This is also an important complication because of the damage to the anal sphincter. This that can lead to incontinence of the feces. So that was all about the section 2, which was the management of the perineal tear. So thank you for watching sqadia.com.